away, I let you go. Mkwano unaniumiza sana, ninateseka ndani moyoni mimi nauma. I got to go, kangende, I let you go. Sitaweza sana, utaki change na wano umeshindwa kubadilisha. I got to go, kankuwe, I let you go. Mkwano nunya, pete ya rusini na yo kidole, nilikupenda my baby sorry, utapata mwengine don't you worry. Patoto tumeza tuna wote yale, tulipanga mina we milele, lakini nini unanichanganya. Maisha wote wawili tulipanga, shida ni nyingi hatujakusanya. Haingekuwa hivyo unapenda upendi, mpenzi tuachane na hivyo. Unaniumiza sana, ninateseka ndani moyoni mimi nauma. I got to go, kangende, I let you go. Sitaweza nimevumilia sana, utaki change na wano umeshindwa kubadilisha. I got to go, kankuwe, I let you go. Mkwano unaniumiza sana, ninateseka ndani moyoni mimi nauma. I got to go, kangende, I let you go. Sitaweza nimevumilia sana, utaki change na wano umeshindwa kubadilisha. I got to go, kankuwe, I let you go. Mkwano kinibati unayempenda sana, popata alipo haitweza beli, atakula za mtu anakula zake zipo. Nipe changu na mimi nikupe chako, kama unipendi hilo ni pako. We got a lot of issues to settle, pamoja twende mseto. Love me baby, I will love you back. Scratch my back, I will scratch your back. Not this way unapenda upendi. Unaniumiza sana, ninateseka ndani moyoni mimi nauma. I got to go, kangende, I let you go. Sitaweza nimevumilia sana, utaki change na wano umeshindwa kubadilisha. I got to go, kankuwe, I let you go. Mkwano unaniumiza sana, ninateseka ndani moyoni mimi nauma. I got to go, kangende, I let you go. Sitaweza nimevumilia sana, utaki change na wano umeshindwa kubadilisha. I got to go, kankuwe, I let you go. Mkwano nunya, tuliamua tuwe together, mimi na wewe tuwe forever. Ni yetu, mimi na wewe na watoto wetu, tupambane shida zote za nyumbani tuzimalize now. Girl, every woman for a man, love me I love you back and out what I want. Girl, this another tune that me sing about a tune and this one girl. Girl, never worry about it, every time you come up I'm gonna sweet it. This man, bad man, I'm music I'm unaniumiza sana, ninateseka ndani moyoni mimi nauma. I got to go, kangende, I let you go. Sitaweza nimevumilia sana, utaki change na wano umeshindwa kubadilisha. I got to go, kankuwe, I let you go. Mkwano unaniumiza sana, ninateseka ndani moyoni mimi nauma. I got to go, kangende, I let you go. Sitaweza nimevumilia sana, utaki change na wano umeshindwa kubadilisha. I got to go, kankuwe, I let you go. Mkwano simbiling biling bang 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 yeah. I got to go, let you go. I got to go. Unaniumiza sana, ninateseka ndani moyoni mimi nauma. I got to go, kangende, I let you go. Sitaweza nimevumilia sana, utaki change na wano umeshindwa kubadilisha. I got to go, kankuwe, I let you go. Mkwano unaniumiza sana, ninateseka ndani moyoni mimi nauma. I got to go, kangende, I let you go. Sitaweza nimevumilia sana, utaki change na wano umeshindwa kubadilisha. I got to go, kankuwe, I let you go. Mkwano nunya, pete ya rusini na yo kidole, nilikupenda my baby sorry, utapata mwengine don't you worry. Patoto tumeza tuna wote yale, tulipanga maisha wote wawili tulipanga, shida ni nyingi hatujakosana. Haingekuwa hivyo unapenda upendi, mpenzi tuachane na hivyo ilivyo sana. Ninateseka ndani moyoni mimi nauma, I got to go, kangende, I let you go, sitaweza. Nimevumilia sana, utaki change na wana umeshindwa kubadilisha, I got to go, kangupowe, I let you go, mkwano unaniumiza sana. Ninateseka ndani moyoni mimi nauma, I got to go, kangende, I let you go, sitaweza. Nimevumilia sana, utaki change na wana umeshindwa kubadilisha, I got to go, kangupowe, I let you go, mkwano unaniumiza. Unayempenda sana popote alipo haitwe tabeli, atakula za mtu anakula zake zipo. Nipe changu nami nikupe chako, kama unipendi hilo ni pako. We got a lot of issues to settle, pamoja twende mseto. Love me baby, I will love you back. Scratch my back, I will scratch your back. Not this way unapenda upendi, unaniumiza sana. Ninateseka ndani moyoni mimi nauma, I got to go, kangende, I let you go, sitaweza. Nimevumilia sana, utaki change na wana umeshindwa kubadilisha, I got to go, kangupowe, I let you go, mkwano unaniumiza sana. Ninateseka ndani moyoni mimi nauma, I got to go, kangende, I let you go, sitaweza. Nimevumilia sana, utaki change na wana umeshindwa kubadilisha, I got to go, kangupowe, I let you go, mkwano unaniumiza. Tuwe forever. Ni yetu, mimi na wewe na watoto wetu. Tupambane shida zote za nyumbani tusimalize now. Girl, every woman for a man. Love me, I love you, but I not what I want. Girl, it's another tune that me sing about a tune and this one girl. Girl, never worry about it. Every time you come up, come and sweet it. This man, Bunny Man, I'm music, I'm
pare na inana bara wagi kanama aye ju baso zakat ko bara monyo baso lokuru ke baso zakat ko bara monyo baso tumo wana bara tumo wana rota sino tumo wana bara wagi tumo wana amoye go bare kana
Again, folks, we want to welcome all of you again this evening. It's been a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful afternoon, folks. We're going to have fun here tonight, as usual. Welcome on LIBERIA Public Radio. We will be here again, rocking it again all over tonight, so there'll be no question asked. We want to thank all of you again for tuning in to LIBERIA Public Radio. It's done a wonderful show here. We have a wonderful show here for you tonight. It's going to be juicy. We hope you don't miss that. We hope you don't miss it. Because here tonight we're going to be talking about a lot of issues here affecting our people back home, things that are coming from back home. If you're a social media junkie like we are, like I am, let me just be specific, like I am, I think you will find it very interesting to see that our brothers and sisters back home and even here, I'm not too sure what is happening what is happening. Lots and lots of issues coming from Liberia that are now quite news that are coming from Liberia that are now quite something that people need to somehow go to the bank with. These are things that are happening. I'm not too sure what they are, but anyway. We're going to be discussing all of those issues here tonight, and we ask you to please stay with us here on Liberian Public Radio as we try our best to give you some wonderful news here coming from Liberia. Of course, that's what we do here on Liberian Public Radio. We're here. We are not obligated to insult because there are some people that will consider that obligation, because without insult they can't move. So here on the Liberian platform, intellectual platform, we're here to discuss, and we thank you for allowing us to express ourselves, and we also appreciate you coming on to express yourself from time to time. It's a wonderful thing to do. I want to thank you guys very much. As usual, we're a little bit running late here, but that's okay. I know, I'm not that concerned because these are my brothers and sisters. Why should I be that much concerned? But let's go. This is once again. Let's start from Dr. Weir as usual, folks. Samson to Liberian Public Radio. Let's go on. That's the President of the Republic of Liberia, Dr. George Weah, President of the Republic of Liberia, who is, with all things considered, he's doing some wonderful thing. We will hope and we continue to pray. There are a lot of things that this government is doing, and we're hoping that things will be, sooner or later, they're going to be successful. But one of the interesting things we're going to be discussing tonight is the wage bill, and the interesting aspect, the interesting turn that is have taken different route completely. And I'm not too sure who's going to be able to help us to understand as to whether Liberians will be left with a bag for the nothing. We'll discuss that. That will be discussed here. That will be discussed here as well. But anyway, as usual, let me now play the video of Dr. Weah during the campaign season when Dr. Weah was in the mud, walking in the mud, folks, during the campaign season. And I think this is one of the reasons why Dr. Weah continued to insist that he must build the road network in Monrovia and all over the country. We're working on some of it. I just got a request again tonight to start another project in Monrovia area. I've already turned in the first one, so they're asking me to do another one, no pay, mind you, and I'm doing these things here free, and it takes time, 2-3 months sometimes, because I work and then I come home and spend a lot of time, trying. But it's my country, I have to. Why not? So we will be doing that, but I'm trying to negotiate with the people that want me to help them negotiate. That's the correct word. I'm trying to see if they will allow me to use this board here to design this project that is going to be built in Monrovia. If they will allow me to design it here publicly, so you can also watch and hopefully be able to contribute of what I need to do, how to make a beautiful roadway, so that the people in the community will love that. So I'm going to ask, but if they say no, that's their project. That's not my project. That I'm not helping them. If they say no, we don't want you doing that, then I'll stick with doing it here by myself. Other than that, it was going to be a very interesting. If the guy say, yeah, go ahead and do it that way, I will do it right on the board here with you guys watching. It's going to be very interesting, folks. Okay, so let's go on. Let's go on. Okay, so let me go ahead and play the video let me go ahead and play the video of Dr. Weah during the campaign, and then we can move on and talk about other issues, folks. Samson to Liberian Public Radio. I want to welcome all of you again. Let's get it going. If you notice, though, I haven't been talking about safety aspect of my show for quite a while now, but I'm going to pick it up again. There's a reason behind that. I'm going to pick it up again very shortly. But let's go on tonight because we're running late. Let's go ahead. Dr. Weah, walking in the mud. I want you to listen to some of the words you will be saying. When was the last time you guys have a training? he still have this thing. And I'm going to be showing you guys some video here also. And folks, I'm not here to praise anybody. I'm just being very truthful. There have been some pictures of Dr. We are playing basketball, and people say, what? He doesn't have time? Doesn't he have to manage the country? Why is he playing basketball and what have you? The man not only plays soccer, he's been playing basketball for a very long time, and I have pictures to show. Very long time. So it's not just something he just picked up few months ago. He's been doing that for a very long time, even when he was skinnier. So he just loves sport. So we should be happy to have that. By the way, let me go ahead and play this video, folks. Samson told LeBron Pablo. Let me go ahead and play this video.
Let's make sure you do that same thing for you can hold. That will hold the stage. No, I don't need shoulder roll. I need my stick. What kind of junior not there before? No, I beg you.
I'd like to read it someday, folks. Again, Samson told. I hope someday that I will have the opportunity to actually, not just Dr. Weir, but those that were around. What was some of the things that were going through their mind? I thought that was very interesting, the video, to watch the president during the campaign, the candidate then at the time, was able to walk in the mud of Liberia, road. But I'm kind of a little bit concerned now that these things are not being pushed as fast as they should be, because these roads, we're not talking about 4-lane highway here. We're talking about most likely 2-lane highway, but it must be done with standard. Specifically, what is really hurting the road capacity in Liberia, the functionalities of the roads in Liberia right now, to be honest with you, is the design that they are not up to standard. Specifically, the curves on these roads are killers. The curves on these roads are killers, and not only the vertical curves that are killers, the horizontal curves are also killers. There's no sight distances on most of these highways, and so they're not things that we should take lightly. I think at this stage we should be able to provide some leadership in this area. The people from public works should be able to have some sort of an understanding with contractors why you're going to have to need site distances and things like that. These kinds of conversations need to be happening. They're not. Okay. But I'm not here to talk about road business here tonight. This is Samson Tola Brompa. So my first subject matter here tonight is a very interesting one, as I stated. Is a very interesting one, folks. Samson Tola Brompa is the wage bill that the budget has been submitted. The budget has been submitted to lawmakers in Liberia, and if you go on Front Page Africa, you will see exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, they passed it, but they haven't passed the budget yet. But they presented the budget to the lawmakers, and one of the interesting things as I was reading was that these people are not quite ready to get on board to have any kinds of discussion with the the bill itself. They want, in fact, they want to be paid arrears that the government owes before they can even have a meeting to have these things discussed. But the interesting thing is, the government, according to that title over there, the question was, would they accept it? Okay, the government is in negotiation. The government negotiating with the lawmakers to see if their pay can be reduced substantially, to be reduced drastically, to be reduced, because they're saying, the government is saying, you know, the IMF quite recently, and I was on it. I've been talking about that for quite a while now. IMF have asked the Liberian government to do something to the wage bill. The wages is too high, number one, and that, you know, you can't just put it on this government. But I think at this time, some of us should not be in a habit of trying to blame the past government either. I think the government underneath Dr. Weah should be able to stand on its own by now. And so when they came to power, there's no question, Liberians are quite aware of it. There's a massive employment. And so the wage bill went high. And there's not enough money in revenue coming in to support the wage bill. So quite recently, IMF has asked the government, you guys want us to help you restructure some of the issues, economic restructure, how to get the economic system moving forward again. One of the things the IMF group recognized and identified was the wage bill. So the government of Liberia is now asking the legislature to see reason for them to reduce their bill. Folks, there are some very interesting things that is happening in Liberia. I didn't know that until quite recently when I started reading the article. The lawmakers themselves, one of the problems that they're having, they're putting before the president and this government is that they owe car loan. You tell me in this country, and I'm not going to try to do that because that would be unfair. I'm not too sure on what criteria from which they had a car loan, but the old car loan, most of them old car loan, and they're saying that if they're going to have, and that hasn't even been discussed, but most of the speculations is if they're going to have to even deal with this, the car loan, the government of the Republic of Liberia should undertake the payment of these car loans. And I'm wondering to myself, you're making $15,000 plus benefit and what have you, because it's stated in here. It's stated in that they make $15,000 plus benefit, plus gas and all the kinds of good stuff. But they're asking them to reduce from $15,000 to $6,000. Folks, that kind of do you see a Liberian lawmaker? And that's one of the reasons why the lawmakers, these positions, when somebody die or somebody retire, you see people rushing to fill these positions. They're doing everything possible to be elected. Who would not want to make in Liberia? Who would not want to make $15,000? But there are certain groups, certain people that are going to these areas, not just because of money, because they got money already. We know some of them, they got money already. They're not going in there for money. They want to make sure they get in there to make sure things happen in Liberia, to move Liberia forward. But the government is saying to the lawmakers, you're going to have to meet us. We're going to have to cut your pay. And I'm wondering to myself, how is this thing going to play out? Would a lawmaker agree? Because government civil servants pays they won't get cut. In fact, finance minister made a statement here that Palestine called it revolutionary exercise. He called it, and for me that didn't cut it anyway. But the point here is they're going to go ahead and cut this here. So if they cut the wage bill and they affect it, you think these representatives have the ability to put Liberia first above their own interest? Do you see these people? I just don't see it. Let me read a little bit. Lawmakers in Liberia are expected to make an ultimatum sacrifice by agreeing to a massive salary slash from a whopping $15,000 to a maximum of $6,000 as part of the recommendation from the International Monetary Fund to reduce the country's wage bill in a crippling economic situation. However, the question remains, is this an undertaking they are willing to take? That's the opening line of this thing here. Go on front page, you'll read it. Go on front page. The question here is, when we all know these people, most of them we know them. We know, even if you don't know them personally, you have been reading about them for such a long time that you can quite predict what their response gonna be. Okay, and one of the presidents that is spearheading this, and this is what I call true sedition. To be honest with you, Gray, the Representative Gray, Akara's Gray, he's now going to sponsor the bill according to the information that we're getting to make sure that this thing come to fruition. But the point also that I want to make about Gray a little bit, he's now pretty much, because of the by-election, he's pretty much taking on the Facebook, has his own show promoting CDC and CDC candidates. This is what I call true sedition. There's no question, but that's not my point here tonight. So let me read on. The wage bill account for 65%, which is $330 million of 2018-2000, which stood at $570 million. Okay, but for IMF, which was invited by President Weah to help resuscitate the economy, reducing the wage bill is critical as the government embark on the process of adopting a credible and executable budget for fiscal year 2019-2020. So that means you're asking the lawmaker not just to cut their wages, but they should make that into law. I hope, okay. Why the wage-based bill, they call it harmonization. Wait, I'm not going to go touch that one either. Okay. But do you see, quite frankly, fellow Liberians, do you see these representatives and senators that make $15,000 a month plus gas, plus car loan? Do you see these people giving up $15,000 a month to take $6,000? To take $6,000, okay, 15,000 to 6,000. You know how many thousand that you're talking? $9,000 cut. Now, do you see these people that have gotten used to these kinds of wages and what have you? If they cut that, do you think the county development fund, will it still survive? I doubt it. That's going to be very interesting. And this again, folks, this is what I come down on hard on the so-called educated Liberians. Because if these folks were not from the beginning, from 2005, if they have not consistently tried to be president of the Republic of Liberia and just say, okay, we're going to have two-party system, and the group and the rest of the people, you go with where your ideology lies. If you're closely aligned with certain group, you stay with that. But the rest of the educated people should have gone to the House of Representatives and the Senate. Not that the people that are there are not educated. That's not the point that I'm making. But those who have the experience of running things, I believe if they have done so, we won't be talking about the wage wages right now. Okay, so once again, I found it very hard to believe, and I might be eating crow here again, folks. If the legislature decide to reduce their wages from 15,000 to 6,000, that would be very interesting. So I just don't see it. Okay. Here's the other thing that is happening. and this one here, folks, I'll come back to it because this is my main topic here tonight. But here's the other thing that's happening in Liberia, and I want you to look at this thing here. Folks, I will make this quick statement. Coca-Cola of Liberia thinking about closing. And the palm oil people, they're talking about laying off 350,000 or so. They say 350,000. Let me go there. 350, not 350 people. I don't. Yeah, Coca-Cola. Why is Coca-Cola the work most recognized? Okay, let me go to this. Okay. Wow, it's not easy. There's a lot of things coming up in Liberia right now. Okay. Okay. All right. They're talking about laying off 300, not 350. I don't think it's 350. I think 350 people. I think 350 people. I'll go with a lower number because I can't find my article right now. But yeah, 350 employees, not 350,000. Oof. If they have 350,000 employees, I will be there working for them. 350 employees, they're going to be laying off. And I believe that will be affecting many Liberians. Why do I bring this up at this stage? And the reason being is this is where I continue to fault the finance minister, because at this point, if Coca-Cola closed, okay, and said they're not doing business in Liberia anymore, where are the employees going to go? If these people lay off 350 people, where are they going to go? So with the bad economic situation in Liberia, the finance minister need to step down, to be honest with you. At least if he step down and stay in the background, it will be helpful because you bring somebody else in. Perhaps that person will inject some sort of energy that the finance and trust. That the finance minister, to be honest with you, he lacks trust right now. No, Liberians don't trust him. The international community don't trust him. But if the difference between Liberians and international community is that international community will work with him, because he's the only person that is representing the Republic of Liberia. And they're not going to work with Liberia on a hand. They will work with Liberia, the person who Liberia gives, whoever is representing Liberia. The person who's representing Liberia interest. Even if they don't trust him, they will still work with him. So I still insist, and I will continue to say, the finance minister needs to resign, because he doesn't have trust. Nobody trusts him anymore. From that map up situation, he's been having a serious issue. Okay, so that is the issue that's going to be affecting a lot of things in Liberia. Let me go on. There's another brief side story here as well that I'm going to be talking about. Okay, the side story here is if I can find my side story. I think this is no. Okay, my side story here is the House of Representatives are now asking the two mayors of the bigger cities in the borough of Monrovia, to be honest with you, Monrovia City Corporation Mayor Kochi and Painesville City Mayor Taylor. They're asking them, the representatives are asking them to come to the conference with them to explain why the city is so dirty and filthy. And I told you here the other day when I was here, I believe it was on Monday, that the churches president of the Council of Churches decided to ask the government to form a task force to clean the city. Apparently, when he makes that remark, you can tell that Jefferson Kochi is not doing nothing. If Jefferson Kochi were doing something, then perhaps if he were doing something better, then instead of asking the government of the Republic of Liberia, they would have gone to Jefferson Kochi and say, form a task force that will be able to assist you. But if they're going to go over his head and go straight to the president, that means Jefferson Kochi has some serious issue. And when I was here the other day talking about Jefferson Kochi, my recommendation was that Jefferson Kochi, one way or other, should leave and go back to school. Go to Europe, come to the United States, and educate yourself. He's very young, very young. He can stay here and get a PhD and still go back to Liberia. He'll still be young in terms of politics in Liberia. So what's his rush? But here now, he is incapable to actually perform. He cannot carry out the work of the city by cleaning the city. Okay, so they're inviting them. That's another side story. Okay, so let me go back to my main topic here again. Okay, so back to the wage bill. Okay, the government is asking these people to actually see reason to cut their own pay, and I just don't see it. I just don't see it, folks. I just don't see it. I don't see these people to cut their own pay. Okay, so again, you need to just a lot of information coming on the wire from Front Page Africa that are very interesting. So go down there. You should be able to get a lot of information coming from Front Page Africa. But the representatives are not going to cut their own pay. I just don't see it. First of all, they're asking the government of the Republic of Liberia in order for them to even and according to, I think it's the constitution, either the constitution or the rules of the house, that when the budget is submitted within 2 or 3 days or something like that, to that effect, they should have some sort of a conference. It has not happened. Okay, and they're saying these brothers and sisters are saying the only way they will do that if the government pay them their area. And the government owe them for some months. You're making $15,000 each one of those people. There was another article here the other day where a young man wrote about the money issue with Baporo County, and how some representatives were setting up a front office, and these front offices will go to the legislature in the budget, put the front company or whatever, they put their name on there, and they get thousands and thousands of dollars, and these people put the money back into their own pocket. Because according to the article, there was nothing being done in the name of this company that is tangible or visible. So I'm sure if it's happening in Buffalo County, I'm sure it's also happening in all over the country. The county development fund has become the go-to for most of the representatives from time to time. Okay, I remember my own county, Grand Yida County. They've been having issues. I don't pay attention to that anymore. If the government want to help the county, they will make sure these money allocated for the county are utilized in a way that will help the county, and not just leave it to these people to manage it. Because every time they manage it, they manage nothing but problems. Okay, so that's exactly what is happening. That's exactly what is happening. So once again, I'm saying, and then I think I will just go ahead and take a call here this evening as soon as possible. I'm saying to you again that the Liberian lawmaker would not reduce their pay. I think because they have the law on their side. Okay, you got to have them to reduce it. So and they're saying that they have car loan and all the kinds of good stuff. Okay, so give me a call here. Give me a call. But before you do that, let me see if I can set mine. Okay, Samson to Liberian Power Radio, folks. Why is that? Okay, so but let me put the phone number up there. Give me a call. But in the meantime, folks, let me see if I can set it up again. Okay, all right. So give me a moment. All right. Okay, give me a call, folks. Samson to Liberian Public Radio. Give me a call here, and let's see if I can get it set up here. If you agree with me, don't call me. If you don't agree with me, don't call me. So you heard quite recently to where there was another article where the Nima County added the old folks in Nima County, according to the story, have given Prince Johnson the right of way, or they go ahead to run the county as he see fit. I didn't want to touch that. To be honest with you, that's Nima County problem. If that's what they want, that's fine. But knowing our history, that you would say Prince Johnson will now have what they say. They say the man have a right to say whatever you want to say and stuff like that. That's not okay. I'm connected. Give me a call. But Prince Johnson to say, run it the way you want to run Nima County. And Nima County, this is a county, folks. Ever since growing up, as far as I'm concerned, there are 3 counties in Liberia that I know that have the most, I mean, that's my opinion. You can say no, that's fine. But has the most educated people, smart people. That how do you call it? Grand Cape Mark County, that Lofa County, that Nima County, not in the order that I just listed, but those 3 counties, they always have the most educated people. When I was growing up, I saw the numbers. I'm not too sure what it is now, but for Nima County, one of the largest populated county in Liberia. Smart people, intelligent, they're there, and I know them. Highly educated, PhD, Boku, WD, Boku, education, book wasting Nima County to sit there and say this man, Prince Johnson, to say he has a right to do whatever you want to do with the county and nobody's saying nothing. Then I find that a little bit difficult to understand. There must be a reason. But I just find that very hard to understand. Okay? Prince Johnson is a warlord. There's no question asked. And my thing about this warlord and Prince Johnson business is this. Prince Johnson, and I'm not trying to defend him here, folks. I'm saying it from my own perspective. Prince Johnson didn't just get up one morning and say, you know what, bringing war to Liberia. There were certain things that was happening that caused these people to say, we're going to do one way or the other, we're going to do something. Whether you support it or not, there must be something that happened that made them to say this is what they want to do. Okay? But for Nima County now, highly educated population, PhD, almost every other year, you got 2-3 PhD coming out of Nima County. For them to sit there and say, the elders to say, Prince Johnson, you do whatever you want to do with your county. It's up to them. Who am I? I don't live in Nima County, but I'm just saying, and not that Prince Johnson is not capable of producing. That's not my point. My point is, in a country that is practicing democracy, and for you to say you have a king, then what is the purpose of your education? What is the purpose? Prince Johnson goes around here and talk about that he liberated his people. Prince Johnson wrote a little pamphlet where he said the guns that liberate the people. Okay, call me again. They just went out. It goes on to say the guns that liberate the people should not be the guns to rule the people. What happened? He violated his own. So I'm just throwing these things out there, to be honest with you. So let me go back. Somebody was calling me here. Give me a call again if you can. The idea of the wage not Congress, but the lawmaker accepting to reduce their wages in Liberia. I find that hard to believe. So, folks, this is Samson to LeBron Pub Radio. I think I gotta go and get a pamphlet that I'm talking about with Senator Prince Johnson. Okay. So again, he's saying that in order for people to get job, in order for Nibadians to get job, they must join his party or they must join CDC. So is Prince Johnson telling us that the highly educated brothers and sisters struggle so hard to get their education that their education it doesn't matter, that their training to be able to move things around doesn't matter, as long they are not member of CDC or member of his party. These brothers and sisters from Nima County most likely will not get a job, especially if you work in the former President Salif's government. I find that also hard to believe. But this is what I keep saying when you talk about Prince Johnson being a warlord and what have you. I keep asking myself, did Prince Johnson get up one night with no provocation whatsoever and say, I'm going to go and find means to bring war in this country? I don't think so. There are certain things that cause him to make that decision, that drastic decision, life and death type decision. However, the point is, after a certain thing push you, as a human being, I believe, you get to the position to do something about it. What do you do after that? Now becomes things. Let me take this call. Samson to LeBron Public Radio. What's your name and where you're calling from? What's on your mind? I'm talking Liberia, wage, and money, and I'm all over this place this evening. Are you calling for LeBron Public Radio?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. What's your name and where you're calling from, sir?
Oh, my name is James Halawanga. I'm calling from St. Louis, Missouri.
Okay, so thank you very much for joining on LeBron Public. What's on your mind, sir?
That's a topic on your mind, but something I heard you talking very important issues we have to do with Nima County, and you said, even though I'm not from Nima, and you analyze it well, but before I start, I just want to tell you that you're a citizen of Liberia, and you're an educated man. When you and I were coming up, we sat down there, you know how our officials of government during those days in the 80s, and you know what, flung us into the Civil War. Anything, whether you're from Grand Jide, whether you're from Nima, I'm from Nima. Anything I see that, especially from Grand Jide, that I'm not satisfied with, I would say it. So you have all right to say what you that you're not satisfied with, you can say it, you know. And one thing I told one of my crime friends, I said, look, Grand Jide had one day the most talked about organization in the United States. But it breaks down, I don't know what happened, and that is not right. I think they're going to try and put that thing together. They say, hello, Wanga, you are right. So, I mean, I don't care what country we come from, we should learn. I'm going to talk. When people do anything, Grand Jide, I will talk. Anything that you see not correct, you talk. It is your right. You are a citizen of Liberia. Well, when you affect one, you affect all. Hello?
Yeah, I'm listening. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I said, you know, I think I heard you talking about the citizens of Nima, or the elders of Nima, when I told Prince Johnson that if anybody who wants any job, the CDC, they should go to him. The last time I on one of the shows, you know, I said, that is what he trying to prove. Personally, I'm a member of the CDC. When I was joining CDC, I did not go to Prince Johnson. And other people who are joining CDC for Nima, they did not go to Prince Johnson. And the government supposed to know, or the CDC government supposed to know that if you talk about members from NEMA who are surely that have members from NEMA. We are not many. So for you to go to Prince Johnson after you are doing all the campaign, then you go to Prince Johnson. Oh, I got my one master. Yeah, I got two PhD, but people in there. I said, hell no, it should not be like that because when I was joining or other people were joining, they did not go to Prince Johnson. You know what I'm saying? And that is not right. I can go to him as senator or as a big brother and say, oh, Papa, I think, even though I'm not a member of the party, but can you recommend me? But you cannot coerce me or you cannot force me to join your party or join another party or for the people to go and join CBC. Are you bringing a one-party state? And you know, our people now, most of our city people, some of them, the way we think, when you talk like that, oh, what are you trying to talk like that? What are you trying? The way you talking now, you don't look like crabby way of talking. I don't have time for them. I always say what is right. And that's how it goes about, and we'll go about it. So I just want to clear the air on that.
Thank you.
And for the how you call them, the elders of NIMBA, I don't know. Do you know there, man? Our people who went to, I grew up in the interior, in Tapeta. I grew up in the interior, in a village. And in the evening, I know Sunday too, I can be watching, you can talk something over there for in the village. and my man, we old men there, when they come, my grandfather, the guy will come outside when the guy went to judge the case, my man. And and you can see logic. And say, no, this person is wrong and this person is right. If people didn't go to school. So, but how people just turn, I don't know. I don't know they have been coherent because somebody is the senator, so you must just go to there and tell them this and that. You senator, you were elected by the people, yes. But you can't push them to do the damn thing, I'm sorry, So, but something when you were to say, they'll say, oh, but that man here, the way he's talking now, hell no. I'm talking the damn right thing because I was saying this because I want for our country to go straight.
Okay.
Thank you, Samson.
Thank you, my brother. Appreciate it. Okay, folks. Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio, give me a call here. This young man from Tapeta area, and just gave me some more memory because I too used to go to Tapeta to play football a lot. Growing up, I used to go. Was one of the best football player in our area. People will come from Tabata. When Tabata playing Sounding Great, they will come from Tabata, come to Total and borrow him. His name was Joseph Wenja. Unbelievable. And I got lots of story about Joseph Wenja myself went to Tabata. But anyway, that's besides the point. But the thing when I said that I'm not from Nima County, it's not necessarily mean that I'm trying to remove myself from Nima County. In fact, if anything, my grandfather is from Nima County, has his own town in Nima County, right across the river. So I truly connected, and most of my friends, most of them are dead now. People like DK Wansley and stuff like that, they're all dead now. But those are people that I know. I grew up in the area they call Bapa. Used to be a diamond camp. I grew up there, and most of my friends say, and the rest say yo, say Yone, and all the people. They're good friends of mine. So I'm heavily connected with Nima County. But the point is, these are people that express themselves through voting for a particular person, and that's why I was making that statement. But it doesn't necessarily mean that Nima County, they can do whatever they want to do. That's not the point. Anyway, let me go on back. Give me a call here. Let's talk about the representative. Do they have the ability to, do you think they will be able to put Liberia first and say, cut our pay, or they will put themselves first? What do you think? Give me a call. Okay. So let me go on back to while I'm waiting for your phone call, let me go on back to I don't even know where to put my phone now. But let me go on back to the Coca-Cola issue, folks. For some reason, these people in the Senate and Representative, I'm not too sure. You have people like Dr. Henrik Topa, highly educated in the Representative. You have people like Vani Sharma, the one Liberian people refer to as a Perry Mason after Chelsea. Because Chelsea used to be Perry Mason. Liberia Perry Mason. I think Vani Sharma now take that mantle to be Liberia. But things that are coming out of Liberia, these people are sitting there and for some reason things are not being done right. I'm not too sure. You have Dr. Weah who is willing to do stuff, but the certain group with Dr. Weah has not had him in a bubble so much. It's going to be hard to extricate him from the bubble. To dislodge him off of that bubble is going to be difficult. Okay, so give me a call here and see what you think about this representative be accepting to cut their pay from 15,000 to 6,000. Yeah, Liberia. So anyhow, let me go on back to Coca-Cola issues, and Coca-Cola in the summit day going to be laying off people. Folks, again, we're talking Liberia. When these people lay off, or when Coca-Cola factory closed in Liberia, it's not going to bode well for the economy. And the sad thing as I see this is that all of this burden going to come right back on the Liberian diaspora. I keep saying this. Because our people will not go too far away from us. They say we don't got no voting right. But if they want fasten the car. They say we some of us they think they don't even think inside we Liberian anymore. But if they want fasten the car. So with all of the layoffs that are coming and the Coca-Cola factory closed, okay, here's the thing about I'm not an economist, but what I think happening, okay, I'm in Monrovia. You give me fasten. I take that fasten and go to the store, buy bread. That person go and buy flour to make some more bread. Now the flour he's gonna buy it, and the government gonna collect taxes. So if I don't have no purchasing power, how you think the government gonna have any money at all for the rest of the thing they want to do? So I think government should be able to focus on private sector. But then again, we're talking about Minister of Finance who I think should resign because he can't do a common map up exercise. How is he even gonna focus on private sector to try to see if his private sector are gonna be able to generate more jobs? So, folks, let me since I'm in the money business here, let me play this young man here, folks. Give me a call. Let me play this young man. Call Alu. I'm in the process. I'm going to, before the end of this month, I will do whatever I can to contact him to see if he can be a guest here on Liberian Pub Radio on my show. But let's listen to him a little bit. All right, Samson to Liberian Pub Radio.
I told them that the biggest risk to the budget, to public finance, was the risk of the payroll going out of hand. Because why? You have a lot of ministers coming across the government bureaucracy from ministries, agencies, and all of these people were under significant pressure to bring on new people into those bureaucracies. So once you do that, you actually expand the public sector wage bill to a level beyond control. And that is exactly what we have seen. The public sector wage bill has gone up. I agree with Lester Tenney that you cannot continuously be reducing the wage bill, the salary of people. But they did that already in July last year when they did the 10 to 15, 10, 7, 8% cuts for ministers and directors. They did that already. So they've already done cuts. So if they do any other cut, it will be the second cut in a year that they will be doing to payroll, when in fact prices of goods and services are going up. You will be actually stifling the purchasing power of people in order to make sure that they do the kind of investment, the kind of expenditure in the economy that will lead to more growth. So now this is the issue: how the government is preventing itself from doing from addressing some of those issues. Just look at, talk to business people that are doing a business with government around. They are not getting paid. Everywhere, all of the business people are complaining they are not getting paid. Even government tenders these days are not competitively bid at. So there are so many issues, and the procurement process signals government relation with the entire business community. So if you have a system in which the procurement process is not open, it's not transparent, you do not have a system where people basically compete in the lowest price and people get contract on the basis of merit, it's basically going to disturb the whole flow. As a result, what you now have in the place is one, because payroll has gone up, so government now has to devote more resources to payroll. And secondly, because government is not able to adequately fund the operation of government, that is providing fuel, providing stationaries, providing all of those basic things that allow the government bureaucracy to run, it is exactly that money that goes to businesses. So for the very few businesses that are actually doing business with government, that are doing contract for government, they are not also getting paid. So some of these businesses are laying off people. I told them that the biggest risk to the budget, to public finance, was the risk of the payroll going out of hand. Because why? You have a lot of ministers coming across the government bureaucracy from ministries, agencies, and all of these people were under significant pressure to bring on new people into those bureaucracies. So once you do that, you actually expand the public sector wage bill to a level beyond control. And that is exactly what we have seen. The public sector wage bill has gone up. I agree with Dr. Lester Tenney, that you cannot continuously be reducing the wage bill, the salary of people. But they did that already in July last year when they did the 10 to 15, 10, 7, 8% cuts for ministers and directors. They did that already. So they've already done cuts. So if they do any other cut, it will be the second cut in the year that they will be doing to payroll, when in fact prices of goods and services are going up. You will be actually stifling the purchasing power of people in order to make sure that they do the kind of investment, the kind of expenditure in the economy that will lead to more growth. So now this is the issue: how the government is preventing itself from doing from addressing some of those issues. Just look at, talk to business people that are doing a business with government around. They are not getting paid. Everywhere, all of the business people are complaining they are not getting paid. Even government tenders these days are not competitively bid at. So there are so many issues, and the procurement process signals government relation with the entire business community. So if you have a system in which the procurement process is not open, it's not transparent, you do not have a system where people basically compete in the lowest price and people get contract on the basis of merit, it's basically going to disturb the whole flow. As a result, what you now have in the place is one, because payroll has gone up, so government now has to devote more resources to payroll. And secondly, because government is not able to adequately fund the operation of government, that is providing fuel, providing stationaries, providing all of those basic things that allow the government bureaucracy to run, it is exactly that money that goes to businesses. So for the very few businesses that are actually doing business with government, that are doing contract for government, they are not also getting paid. So some of these businesses are laying off people. I told them that the biggest risk to the budget, to public finance, was the risk of the payroll going out of hand. Because why? You have a lot of ministers coming across the government bureaucracy from ministries, agencies, and all of these people were under significant pressure to bring on new people into those bureaucracies. So once you do that, you actually expand the public sector wage bill to a level beyond control. And that is exactly what we have seen. The public sector wage bill has gone up. I agree with Dr. Lester Tenney, that you cannot continuously be reducing the wage bill, the salary of people. But they did that already in July last year when they did the 10 to 15, 10, 7, 8% cuts for ministers and directors. They did that already. So they've already done cuts. So if they do any other cut, it will be the second cut in the year that they will be doing to payroll, when in fact prices of goods and services are going up, you will be actually stifling the purchasing power of people in order to make sure that they do the kind of investment, the kind of expenditure in the economy that will lead to more growth. So now this is the issue: how the government is preventing itself from doing from addressing some of those issues. Just look at talk to business people that are doing a business with government around. They are not getting paid. Everywhere, all of the business people are complaining they are not getting paid. Even government tenders these days are not competitively bid at. So there are so many issues, and the procurement process signals government relation with the entire business community. So if you have a system in which the procurement process is not open, it's not transparent, you do not have a system where people basically compete in the lowest price and people get contract on the basis of merit, it's basically going to disturb the whole flow. As a result, what you now have in the place is, one, because payroll has gone up, so government now has to devote more resources to payroll. And secondly, because government is not able to adequately fund the operation of government, that is providing fuel, providing stationaries, providing all of those basic things that allow the government bureaucracy to run, it is exactly that money that goes to businesses. So for the very few businesses that are actually doing business with government, that are doing contract for government, they are not also getting paid. So some of these businesses are laying off people. I told them that the biggest risk to the budget, to public finance, was the risk of the payroll going out of hand. Because why? You have a lot of ministers coming across the government bureaucracy from ministries, agencies, and all of these people were under significant pressure to bring on new people into those bureaucracies. So once you do that, you actually expand the public sector wage bill to a level beyond control. And that is exactly what we have seen. The public sector wage bill has gone up. I agree with Dr. Lester Tenney, that you cannot continuously be reducing the wage bill, the salary of people. But they did that already in July last year when they did the...
There you have it, folks. Samson to LIBERIA Public Radio. Okay. So, give me a call here. We're talking about the wage bill this afternoon. This young man continued to give us some wonderful information. Folks, what is happening in Liberia right now is unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And I'm glad to have people at Front Page Africa continue to supply us with news. As this guy was, as I was playing the video, I was reading some article on Front Page Africa about Henry Custer and his divorce. Folks, what his divorce got to do with Liberian politics, I don't know. Mr. Custer, as far as I'm concerned, he's a very intelligent young man, very smart. Okay, so why are they bringing the divorce business into this? Did he abuse any woman? What did he do? What did he do that would bring out the divorce issue? I don't know. I'm still reading it, but I really, I read most of it, but I don't see the connection. Why would these people try to bring these things up? This is a private business. The divorce is a private business. It has nothing to do with government issues, or is it? Is it because he was able to instrumental in forming this protest? And now, in fact, Liberian, we're going to be inside for a while. We will be inside for a while. The young man went and found this, the COP, and now everybody. Oh, well, I don't want to be part of it again. If you knew Henry Costa, it's not like Henry Costa was hiding himself. This is what I'm saying, that the sincerity level in Liberia. I'm going to get off my let me get out of this one here, folks, because I'm getting ready to go on tangent here, and I don't mind doing that. Okay, in Liberia, when we're not sincere with each other in Liberia, to be honest with you. Okay. And as a result, we do these kinds of things to each other. Okay, when Henry Costa did the how do you call it? When he did the, I'm not gonna be allowed to do that. Okay, all right. Give me a call, but you can hear me anyway. When Henry Costa decided to put this protest business together, he didn't hide himself. every one of us that been following Henry Costa, we know who he is. But yet still, you got people who went in to be part of this process. Now it's over now. The backbiting started. Everybody condemning him. Oh, he did this. He think he's all that. Where were you? Don't you know who Henry Costa is? You never. That's your first time meeting Henry Costa. That's lack of sincerity that is within us. That's why hurting us, and that's why, Doctor, we are going to continue to flock the opposition. He will continue to flock the. In fact, the way these people are going, I'll be surprised if Dr. Weah and CDC don't even win the by-election, and going to have Samson Toto eat crow here, live on my TV. To eat crow, because I've been saying that the opposition are going to win. But the way the people caring about this thing is unbelievable. But folks, I'm not surprised. I predicted this. In fact, I used to push for Dr. Weah to engage these people, because if he had done that, we won't even have a protest, because people are going to fall apart long before then. Because their ego is bigger than anything else. And how are you going to have a two heavy ego in a room trying to stand together? They're not going to make it. There's nobody among them to say that I'm ready to take second fiddle. And this is what they're doing now. You got people calling themselves independent COP. That now you know COP? That now you know yourself to be independent COP? What kind of jelly business is this in Liberia? That's why you expect people to move up. We're not serious. We're not serious. But that's okay. But people like me, I will have my show here from time to time, have fun. In fact, listen to this and see if the situation in Liberia, and see, now you tell me what I'm suffering right now. Let's listen. Here we go. So once again, you call yourself COP or independent COP. That's for me, but like I said, I'm not surprised. This is who we are. We hate to see success. If something happening and success is coming in, how he did it? Why he alone won't be successful? I can't get it. We're always acting like crabs. Crabs in a bucket. We keep pulling each other down. We keep pulling each other down. Because of this COP, they have that massive gathering of Liberians. Now the COP, independent COP, now calling other women there and say, when Henry Costa call you again, you wanna go for demonstration. We the people now that really behind the COP. What kind of business is this? But you see, when you do this, Henry Costa, those of you that continue to do this, that means you don't even know who Henry Costa is. He will come on top. Henry Costa gonna come on top of the COP business. So you can say all you want to say, because recently I don't even know him. He doesn't know me. But I study people. I know people. This young man has done so many things for other Liberians. And then another thing that I want you to do, the independent COP or whatever you call yourself, Henry Costa is popular more than any of you except Dr. Weah. And who is Dr. Weah now? He's president. Is Dr. Weah president because of his leadership ability? I doubt it. Is Dr. Weah president because of his generosity, giving ability? I doubt it. Dr. Weah is president because he's popular with the Liberian people. Henry Costa comes second. And if Henry Costa is the opposition to Dr. Weah, and for some reason that perhaps his way of talking, his way of being opposition to certain people, somehow you're not comfortable with it, you continue to, he's like 36 years old. 36 years old. And I heard somebody was saying today, why would the chairman of Unity Party, why would he take second fiddle to Henry Costa, a little boy with radio station? Little boy? The men were able to command over thousands and thousands of Liberians. And you're going to say, little boy? He might look 36. He might be 36, but he's not a little boy. You guys do these things, and then when I start talking, like right now, I'm talking like I'm supporting Henry Costa. Far from it. I'm being truthful. Because the way we go about things in Liberia, each other, go after each other, instead of putting things together. If Henry Costa is the opposition, if he's able to generate this much huge interest about how and what the government is doing, you don't try to put yourself behind him and try to utilize that service so that your message will get across. You're not against the government because you want to be against government, but there's something the government doing that you want them to improve on. Talk to Mr. Costa, have a conversation with you, and you guys push it. But now you're splitting yourself. So if Mr. Costa called for another protest, you're now telling people you're not going to, they shouldn't honor that. You think if Mr. Costa take a microphone and start talking about the independent COP, y'all got members there? Man, these people, man, I'm telling you. If it's not me, it shouldn't be him. If it's not me, it shouldn't be her. Everybody, never we are people, because he shouldn't be president. The man was elected. He can't do the job, man. He can't do the job. Help him to do the job. He was elected. You're going to cancel the pure election? You're going to cancel the election? Why don't you work with what God has given you? And wait for 6 years. But like I said, if I wish I had the ears of the president. The people then, they will not even smell the day of the offices of 12 years. The kind of thing going on. 12 years, doctor, we are going to be in that place. 12, you know, I did it before. I'm doing it again. Okay? I'm not a member of CDC though. Let me get that quite clear. But here's what I'm saying. During the inaugural program, I was at the Anthony Totman Stadium. And when Dr. Weah started speaking, it got to me so much. As a pressman, I got my press badge and everything. I started yelling 12 years. People looking for, wait a minute. I tell you, you're supposed to be pressman. I said, yeah. I forgot that I was pressman because I was so impressed. It's the same thing here again, 12 years. How are you going to get this man out? There are few things that perhaps the opposition, if they're able to utilize those few unforced error, that Dr. We are going to have a little bit issues. Samuel Toy must go. Jefferson Kochi must go. And the CDC chairman, he has to be careful when he uttering some words, because he says something sometimes that you don't even have to do any fact check. Thing that you saw with your own eyes and you know it blue, you come by and say it's rare. Just like something to you so IQ 10, 15 years ago. Okay? These are the things that I'm a little bit concerned. But other than that, I don't see any politician that will knock Dr. Weah out for taking the position of being president in Liberia. Okay? He's very popular. And when you guys buying each other, what divorce Costa, Henry Costa divorce people got to do with Liberian politics? Is that a new law? Is that a new law? Being the women writing, yes. But what that got to do with Liberian politics? I just thought that when I read these things, and it gets to me sometimes. Thing that ahead of us that was supposed to, and here's the interesting thing. You can tell Sansinto from Totem, but you can't tell Totem from Sansinto. The Liberians here in the diaspora, we do these kinds of stuff among ourselves here in the diaspora. You heard a young man speaking earlier how Grand Union County Association used to be the talk of the Liberian diaspora. That was when people like Thomas Collins was holding the presidency. He made sure that we were talked about positively. But because he was doing good, I can say I can do it too. And then when the other people came in, oh, they're not qualified, man. The people shouldn't even have the opportunity to do it. We started biting the bull that can't even manage itself. They decided to derail the next person that came in, tried to fight them. The children then they left. They fought. My brother, if you want to know what happened, I was at the thick of this thing. The children then the former leader, Honorable Fred Guerrero, they decided we're going to form another Grand United County association in the diaspora. They call themselves, and they're doing good. I don't see them begging to come back to Grand United County Association. And this is the thing that we do. We take these kinds of behavior on a larger scale. Samson told LeBron Public Radio, what's on your mind? What you're calling for? What's your name now?
My name is Mandy Fambula, calling from Pennsylvania.
Thank
USA.
you. Thank you for joining us. What's on your mind, sir?
I was just listening to you. Thank you for having a beautiful program, first of all. I was just listening to you talking about this syndrome that we Liberians are born with. And this is why we are way back up in this time when it comes to development, because we are not satisfied with anything else unless it is done by us. If it's not done by someone, it's not done right. I heard you talking about independent COP. I want to believe it's some kind of undercover, it's a political strategy. That's what I want to believe from the ruling organization, the ruling party. They try to inflect into the Liberian people's mind that Heracles is not good, Heracles is corrupt. I mean, how can we keep living like this? And we are all seeing the problem that we are faced with in Liberia. We all know the problem, but still we are playing deaf ear and blind eyes to those problems and just accusing somebody who left everything he's doing in America for 5% for the Liberian people.
That's right.
You know, this made me to always remember what Robert Sully once said. Liberians are not worth dying for. Sometimes, look, Mr. Total, I shed tears. Why Liberia? Why Liberia? We are engulfed in our capital city. The guy is taking over the capital city. But we are still trying to play that pull-down syndrome. For everybody to speak the truth. If I cannot speak the truth, nobody else speaks the truth. That's crazy jealousy. It is that stupid jealousy that is killing us. And we don't let it sit and think twice. Because there's a tool that will be nothing good coming out of my view. It'll be fine. To be very frank with you, what I think is total ignorance and illiteracy. Most of the people who have not traveled sitting in Liberia, some of the are the main people that are causing this kind of problem. But they're not going out there, not even travel to other African countries. Most of them. So whatever condition they find themselves, they are very comfortable in that condition. So they really don't care to see Liberia go forward. They really don't care. It's all about themselves. Among my mother's children, I love myself to death. If I get my stomach filled, I don't have time for the rest. That's the notion we have in Liberia, and this is very, very bad. And I can defy any Liberian who will come, like you said, that will come to be more popular than the Heracles right now. You can come up with whatever need. You cannot be popular than Heracles. He has proven himself. How many of us will leave our work in America and go talk on behalf of the Nigerian people in Nigeria? You know how many of us stand down, try to speak for the Nigerian people? Even the very government, you know how much they're offering? He turned it down. We need to stop this. We need to stop this. People are down by the numbers every day. They say that there is no medication, no food, no job, but yet and still, if it's not family who brought peace or brought change, it shouldn't be in our custom. It shouldn't be Mr. Two. We need to learn to be nationalistic and love one another. I was lived in Ghana, I saw that. I went to Nigeria and I saw it. People are very nationalistic. That's why Nigerians done it. Insult her any way they want. There's a talk. Right? And make beat them up and the same way they beat them up. We make beat them up and just envy one another and let it foreigners come and interfere our system. Enrich themselves and leave. But we hate one another. Is Nigeria a different continent from somewhere else? I don't know. But we need to change this mindset. It's not leading us to any betterment. Not at all.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tool.
Thank you, my brother. Appreciate it. Thank you very much, family. We appreciate it. Thank you for joining on here. Okay. All right, folks. Samson to LeBron Pub Radio. As I was saying, I think when I started my show, until I read about the divorce paper written by a concerned women, then I really say this is not things that I need to waste my time on, to be honest with you. Eric Costa, I told you guys before, and I've continued to say, he's popular, second only to Dr. Weah. And there's no question. Now, that's my opinion. I'm entitled to it. That doesn't make it true, but I'm entitled to it. Okay, now, that doesn't make it true for you, but it's true for me. So let me make that clarification quickly. Okay, so, but Eric Costa was able to fund this protest. Look at the amount of people they have. And because he did that, he can't stand on 18 years. Who is he? Just a little boy, 36 years. Why you coming rule people here for? Then we can't go nowhere. Utilize, you see, that's one of the things that I'm very good at. I'm very good at this, okay? I know in my own community, there's certain thing I know I can't do. I can't come here and want to be president of Boston District. First of all, I'm too old to be president of Boston District. I'm almost 90 years old. What am I going to do with Boston District now? In fact, forget 90, 145. Okay? But the thing what I do and what I do most and I enjoy is that these young people that are running these organizations that I know, I keep pushing them to do more. Not with disrespect. They myself can be joking. Heavy joke. You know, said we're all the same age. They respect me, I respect them. Because they know I respect them. So they're not going to insult me publicly. Because they know who I am. I don't go talking about them behind their back. And I will not tell them, this is my idea, go ahead. No. Every time we have conversation, whatever comes out of my mouth, I consider it to be suggestions. You have the right and you must reject it. But if you think it's going to benefit the people, don't just take it and run with it. Go and talk to the people, your circle. Have a discussion about it. And don't hide my name. Call my name. And I try to do that all the time. And that's why most of them, all of the confusion that is within the Grand Leader community, you will not hear one day they come out, they say they want to have something to study. Because I know where my abilities lie, what I can do and what I cannot do. I will not lie to them. And I will not go choo behind somebody. You do something, I'll like I tell you. Okay? But the point here is this. Henry Costa, let's go back to Henry Costa. Henry Costa did this thing here. If these so-called independent COP, if they're sincere, they will stick with Henry Costa and utilize the services of Henry Costa and achieve whatever they want to do. But the way they're fighting Henry Costa, you know what Liberian people are saying, the young man just spoke about that. Liberian people are saying they were not sincere from the beginning anyway. They were set up by this administration. One more, stop. Okay, right here. They were set up by this administration to join them and weaken them up. But that's not going to work because Henry Costa already have a platform. You're not going to destroy that platform. Henry Costa does not need it to be up there. And I keep telling you guys about him. You refuse to know about Henry Costa. And so when you meet him tomorrow and be in a political arena with him, he will defeat you because you refuse to look at him critically. You look at him to say he's small. You look at him because you think, say, he's 36 years old. Instead of him to look at him critically. And what is thing that he can do and he does them well. Those are the things you need to study. So that when you come across him tomorrow in a political arena, you will know what make him take. Not divorce paper for running yourself behind women, lying and talk about, say, the writing concern women writing divorce paper. What that got to do with anything here? Nothing. So once again, I was very critical of Henry Costa. And I'm still critical of Henry Costa. The fact that they were not able to present whatever they have three times, to be honest. They were not able to do one when they met with the president. Second, when the people came, when the Senate sent for them. Third, when the people came to receive the stuff and they didn't. I was critical about that. But I must give him credit to be able to gather that type of force in Liberia. Some back up, Matthew, we have not seen anybody else in Liberia like that. And I've been around. I'm a political junkie, to be honest with you. Bringing war in Liberia, you're not a political giant. As CDC people will say political gladiator. I'm not too sure what political gladiator is, but I will use it anyway. God, now watch Gladiator movie then. So I was just maybe that's why they calling the Gladiator political because Gladiator those are the hero. Please. I'm not even gonna use it. I will use it anyway. But to going back to Henry Costa, folks. There was you see, if you don't study people, you don't know them, you can't talk much about what they're gonna do and what they're not gonna do. Immediately after the protest, I think 2 days or so, Henry Costa made a video at night, I believe it was at night, where he was laying down. But you could tell he was in a serious pain, emotional pain. I mean, I'm not a medical doctor, but just by his expression, things he was saying. If somebody would tell you, say, I didn't do this thing here for myself. I did it for you, but look how you're turning out against me. He lay it out. Henry Costa doesn't hide anything. Okay? And we refuse to see that. You think if Henry Costa want to be friend with Dr. Weah right now, you think Dr. Weah would not be happy to have Henry Costa as his friend? Some of you are even able to drive the same street Dr. Weah driving on right now. If Henry Costa called Dr. Weah tonight, Dr. Weah will be happy to meet with him quick. So why are we fooling ourselves? Anyway, it's a side show. So let me move on, folks. The question, my phone is open. Please give me a call. Give me a call here. The question that I ask is, the lawmaker, do they have the ability to reduce their salary? Do they have the will? Not ability, they do have the ability, but do they have the will to put Liberia ahead of their own personal interest? That, folks, is the question that I have for you here tonight. I'm going to go and grab Prince Johnson's book, and I'll come back and read that little bit. Because what Prince Johnson continued to do, and I'm not one of those who is seeking Prince Johnson downfall or what have you. Bring the war crime court, those who are guilty in inflicting some sort of a pain on Liberians and the people of Liberia, let them stand judged to be judged. And if you're found guilty, whatever rule is set up by the group, that rule must be applied equally to anybody who will be on the other side of the rule that is set. The question that I keep asking when I'm talking about Prince Johnson is, did Prince Johnson just get up one day and say, today, the sky not the way I want it to be, I will bring war? And I say to that, no. There were things that happened. Things that happened. So we can't just go and make the judgment to say, oh, he brought war to Liberia. Why? Have you even thought about asking the question why? In order for you to find out why Prince Johnson did some of the things he did, first of all, find out how he got there. Now, I'm not here to defend Prince Johnson, far from it. Because shooting people when they're handcuffed with another person, that is not, for me, that's not revolutionary. But why did he do that? Why did he get involved? How did he get involved? We must find those things out. And I bet you, if you find out the why, you most likely might come to a conclusion why Nimbadians continue to give power to this man. For me, that look like the people are just being somehow they get a man power for me. But no, if you go deeper than that, there is a connection. Folks, I'll be right back. Let me get this book and I will read. I had lots, sometimes some of us got to be very careful because some of us have lots and lots of information. And these type of information, they're not trying to be released until the person who provided the information to us, there's a clear understanding. Those information don't come out until I die. I'm saying it again. And let me just make it clear here. When this person pass, which I hope that person don't pass now because I like that person. I love that person. But when this person pass and you hear on the news that so person passed, the first week, go to Indiana University. If Indiana University, the Liberian Study Branch, if they decided to put those papers out, you will be surprised some of the things you will read. You will be surprised. But those are information we're not quite ready to divulge yet. But I was able to collect few here and there. I got Prince Johnson book here. I had some writing during when they were in Libya. There was another friend, another young person that were communicating with another brother here in the United States. I have those letters. What are some of the things he was describing when they were there in Libya, and before they went to Libya. I also have a letter from this same young man what was happening in Burkina Faso. I got those things, but I'm not going to talk about them. I'm not going to tell you where they are. But the book. Most of you, I know you know about the book now, but I will get it and let me read it. And then I'll bring another stuff here also. It's a very interesting book. Turn into the music here while I'm going out there to grab my book. It was not my intention to talk about Prince Johnson here this evening. My intention was to talk about the wage bill. But I think we beat that to death already. Let's listen.
Matipi, enana, monyo kapore kanama. Yekare matipi, enana, sono sere kanama. Pale kwekuri kuna, inana, pale waki kanama. Baye jibo basogo, zakati ko pale monyo basogo.
Welcome back, Samson Toll, Liberia Public. This is the book that I'm talking about. It's how many pages, by the way? It's a little pamphlet. I call it pamphlet, 30 page. Okay, but this is the title of Prince Johnson. What did he call it? He called it "The Gun That Liberates Should Not Rule." And I'm sure most of you have seen it. Most of you have read it. Okay, "The Gun That Liberates Should Not Rule." Okay, and other essays by Prince Yodo Johnson. Okay. Dedication to the memory of my parent, to my wife and children, to my brother Samuel Vanny, You remember who Samuel Vanny is? Okay. To my comrade, living and dead, and all those who give up their life for our cause. This was written back in 1991, folks. Okay. Circumstances often place. This is the opening forward. So, like once again, you have to open your mind. You can't just say the man does X, Y, and Z. Therefore, because in order for those decisions that created X, Y's, and Z before they were made, there were certain things, certain position that person was in. Why did he get from that position to whatever position he got in to make the X, Y, and Z decision, for which you're trying to get him to understand? So let me read this. Circumstances often place people in a situation they never will or expected, but life demands that the grown up men and women meet the challenges their circumstances may require. Folks, this is coming from Prince Johnson back in 1991. Okay? Let me read that again. I want you to pay attention to the selection of the words. I want you to pay attention to that. Circumstances often place people in situations they will never will or expect it, but life demands grown-up men and women meet any challenges their circumstances may require it. We, the member of the Independent National Patriotic Front of Liberia for the liberation and reconstruction of our country, this struggle has involved tremendous sacrifices in terms of men and materials. We persist in it not only because of our conviction that it is a just cause, but also because of our firm belief that ultimate victory will lead to lasting peace and prosperity for all the people of this nation. This is what Prince Johnson believes. Circumstances got him to where he got him to the situation that he found himself in. What was his circumstances? Those are the kinds of questions that we need to find out. What is the connection between Mr. Johnson, Honorable Johnson, and the people of Nimba County? Let me read on. And this is just a forward. This is not even the main cross of the. Oh my goodness! Some of the things he talk about, and those are things that I used to say here about things that happen in Town. All of us that grew up in the villages have things about Liberia that are unbelievable. Okay, so let me read on. This short assessment is an attempt to throw some light on the principal ideology that have served as source of inspiration and strength for our struggle. Future historian or thinker will be in the best position to analyze these ideology and determine their legitimacy, whatever ideology they have. Folks, I'm reading a book by Prince Johnson back in 1991. Let me, what do you have a month yet? Okay, all right. It was printed by Herald Publishing, 46 Ashmont Street, Monrovia, Liberia, 1991. Okay, all right. So then let me go on. Okay, I hope that this groundwork will answer some of the burning questions that may arise during such an undertaking. 1991, you know what was happening, okay? Thanks are due to many friends in the struggle, especially my brother, Colonel Samuel G. Vanny. And Vanny has always been a right-hand man. all advisors, staffs, and comrades of the independent whatever, their inflation support, okay, stimulating ideas and suggestions contributed immensely to this formulation of these philosophy. I hope that my fellow countrymen will be inspired by these convictions to continue the struggle until victory is won. Okay, Brigadier General Prince Johnson, Causeway Base. He was still in Causeway's Bay, INPFL. Okay. Then he go on. Let me read this other one here. This is just a forward. Let me just read this other one. The higher cost of freedom. Folks, when Prince Johnson was writing this thing back in 1991, I believe the war was still happening. Okay. All right. So, but the reason of me reading is not so much of trying to defend anybody or whatever, but I want you to understand why is this man continue to put himself out there as though he's a kingmaker. He's not. He's just a senator. But why is it that Nimbadians continue to present him as such? Because if Nimbadian wanted Prince Johnson out of that office, they would have gotten him out a long time ago. So let us don't fool ourselves. Let us don't fool ourselves that every time the election comes around, Prince Johnson win because people are scared of him because he got guns. No, people go in the voting booths and cast their vote for him. So we have to come from that perspective that people want him. So when he comes out and make these kinds of ridiculous, as far as I'm concerned, ridiculous statements, perhaps he's making a statement based on the connection that he has with the people of Nimba County. So then again, the question then to me is this. Are you telling me that the educated Nimbadians are all in this fix with Prince Johnson? Or they are not in majority? And even if they are not in majority, what are they doing to convince their own countrymen that these kinds of statements this man continue to make? It's not in the interest of Liberia. They are not in the interest of democracy either. Join me or else you're not going to get a job. What if I'm qualified? Do I have to join you? Those statements are not in the interest of democracy. But I'm trying for you to understand here, this is the man that been involved, heavily involved in recent history of the Republic of Liberia. In terms of destruction, in terms of loss of life, people who are fully responsible for the destruction and loss of life in Liberia, Prince Johnson will be one of those that you will put on top. He's not the only man. But his name will be among the men that you will say these people are fully responsible. If you want to attribute responsibility on certain people, Prince Johnson will not name is not going to drop out of that. But why is it? If Liberians, if what I'm saying that is true, and Liberians feel like that, why is it Nimbadians are not feeling such? Let me read a little bit more, folks. It's an interesting thing for us to think about. So you need to know these things so that when Prince Johnson opens his mouth next time, you don't be surprised. You don't be surprised. Because election time comes around, Prince Johnson don't go in and play magic and show the ballot bags of him winning. People go into this booth willingly, knowing fully well that if they cast their ballots for Prince Johnson, he's going to win. And they go out there with the determination and the understanding that they will cast their vote for Prince Johnson to win. If somebody you put out there to represent you, and a person is spewing these type of ridiculous statement, I consider a ridiculous statement. It might not be ridiculous to those who he's representing. Then why is it that we all want to sit here and say, well, he shouldn't do that because he's representing people who are educated? Of course, there's no question to ask. But those people, year in, year out, and whenever he has a challenge, whenever he's contesting, he's winning. And he's not winning by buying. He's winning by people walking, standing in line, seriously thinking about their action as they walk into that booth to cast their vote. They think about it. They know the consequence behind it. And they gladly offer their vote for Prince Johnson to be senator. So we can't disregard those type factors that got Prince Johnson to be senator. So the man stand and say, I got Nima County in my pocket. Why should we not believe him? If the man comes out, he said, Nimbadi, if you want work, you better come behind me. I'll join CDC or you join my party and I will talk for you to get a job. Why can we not believe him? It says now the same Prince Johnson who stood or sat in public, and we have the video of that, saying that if George we are winning election in this country, war will come. They did not say that. It's not the same person. After some time, Dr. Weah started campaigning along with Prince Johnson all over the country. Is it not true? Why? What was the thinking of Dr. Weah to accept the baggage that come with Prince Johnson? What was the thinking? These are the things that you need to factor in your consideration as you deliberate as to whether Prince Johnson is a clown or not. Let me read, folks. Liberia situation is very interesting. Liberia situation is very interesting. And let me read. Freedom is costed. That's coming from Prince Johnson. Freedom is costed. And it seemed to demand nothing less than the very lives of the people. Yet, man has always chosen to pay this costly price because by nature, he cannot afford to live in bondage. Was Prince Johnson living in bondage? That he was willing to sacrifice his life? Was Prince Johnson living in bondage? That he accepted to sacrifice other Liberians' lives? Let me read on, folks. Yet, okay, bondage. Blah blah blah. Okay, at all times and in all circumstances, he wants. That's man he's talking about. He wants to be free to stand on his own feet and walk, go wherever he wants to go, do whatever he wants to do, think whatever he wants to think, and say whatever he wants to say. It is only in the context of freedom that he can fulfill himself and accomplish these purposes designed for him by his creator. Folks, these are the things that Prince Johnson truly believed. Let me say the title of this: The Gun That Liberates Should Not Rule. So if he considered himself liberator of Nima County, why is he ruling if he was suggesting that at that time? So there's two factors here as far as I'm concerned. The circumstances that brought Prince Johnson to be, he considered himself the liberator of Nima County. Why is it now that he's turned onto the philosophy he has of not ruling because he liberated the people and now become a ruler? What happened? These are kind of questions we need to ask ourselves. And Prince Johnson, he's been in the public eyes for a very long time. Okay, so let me go on and read this little passage, and then I will go ahead and consider myself leaving the line for the rest of the evening. Okay, all right. So when Patrick Henry, the American politician made the historic remark, "Give me liberty or give me death," he was expressing man's inherent and uncompromising preference for freedom and his parenthesis to pay its ultimate price. This is the book, Prince Johnson. Talk about speech. And this is another interesting one. Okay? This is Armed Forces Day, of course, brochure, 1978. Arm motto, unity, strength, and freedom. We will defend. Yeah? Okay? Yeah, published by the Minister of Defense, Monreal. Okay, yes, somebody think and the president all over here, but I'm not going to say. My challenge occurs since many challenges occur since we last met here at the Barclay Training Center a year ago to celebrate Armed Forces. Perhaps who wrote the one? Oh, October. But anyway, folks, I just thought that I tried. These things are history. You read these things from time to time. You know what position. And this particular one, 1978, what was that? I was in Monrovia. I was E.J. Rock King. 1978, I was E.J. Rock King. My goodness. I know I probably, okay, folks, I'm going to read some names here. And some of these people, they probably have read it in them. Please. All right. Armed Forces Day. The message, Mr. Brighter Holler, Minister of National Defense. Okay, that's Holler. He was the Minister of Defense at the time. Okay, let me read some names here. Honorable Alfred B. Curtis, Senior, Deputy Minister of Defense for Administration. Oh, these were the big shots. Honorable E. Hayden Smythe, Deputy Minister of Defense for Operation. Big shot. Honorable G. Wharton Tay, Assistant Minister of Defense for Military Affairs. Okay, let me go on. And who is this? Honorable William R. David Jr., Assistant Minister of Defense for Coast Guard. Okay, let me read the other person. Honorable Charles B. Harris, Assistant Minister of Defense for Civil Work. Oh, and these are big shot. Okay. Then here they have they call themselves the critical staff. Okay, they have picture Mrs. Ned W. Hampton, Special Assistant. That's all. Oh, I bet you that's all right. From where they coming from? They say from. Okay, left. Okay, Special Assistant, Mr. Anthony P. Tokpa, Administrative Assistant. Sat at the deck. In the back row, Charles Garner, Sr., Secretary to the Administrative Assistant, Esther Wilson, Secretary to the Assistant Minister for Coast Guard Affairs, McDale Howard, Student Apprentice, Charles Brinsme, Recalling Clerk. There are a lot of them. And they have their picture here, folks. They have their picture. I'm not just reading. Okay, let me read on to the General. General Henry K. Johnson. I think, comrades in arms. Once again, time has compared its yearly cycle, and as we jointly observe the 21st anniversary of the Armed Forces Day of the Liberia, we are reminded of our obligation and responsibility to the Commander-in-Chief. Talk about that is. Folks, interesting. And here's the other one. Major General Samuel H. Heidi, Sr., Deputy Chief of Staff, AFL. Okay. All right. Let me go on to read. Oh, no. This is the United States. America been with Liberia for a very long time. United States Military Mission to Liberia. They didn't even put that. Okay, no. The U.S. Military Mission team is headed by Colonel Harold L. Hunter Jr. Okay, Colonel Hunter, a graduate of United States Armed War College, also holds a degree from the Civilian University. He has held many staff positions. Okay, all right, but let's go back to Liberian people now. Colonel Joseph B. Sharp, Director of Staff. Major Kaba Wayane, Assistant Chief of Staff, G1. Okay, Lieutenant Colonel Richard S. Kodu, Assistant Chief of Staff, G2. Okay, Colonel Steve, I know the one here, I know the guy here, I know the guy. I used to stay in the bar, so I know the guy. In fact, he used to play football. Colonel Stephen J. Kofa, Assistant Chief of Staff, G3. Okay, Major James F. Colley, Assistant Chief of Staff, G4, AFL. Major Wallace H. Power, the Controller, AFL. Colonel Joseph E. Colonel Smoke. I know that one. I know him too. Colonel Joseph A. Smoke, Adjutant General. Okay, Major Mark A. Colley, Chief of Finance, AFL. Okay. Colonel Frank J. Smith, Commanding Officer, Aviation Company. All right, Major Gray D. Allison, Chief Sergeant Officer, Chief Single Officer, AFL. And then they write about them. For example, Colonel Smith has had 23 years of flying experience. Okay, Major Allison entered the Army in 1960 as private, and after basic training was commissioned second lieutenant. Oh, wow. Okay, let's go to the other one. Colonel M. Fortune W. Yancey, Commander Tutman Military Training. Tutman Military Training. I think I'm shuffling, eh? Yeah, okay. I think so. Major Thomas S. Rennie, Information Officer. And this other one, Captain James A. Tony, Special Assistant to the Chief of Staff. Bunch of them. Colonel Joe Stafford Howard, the Inspector General. Major John T. Banga, Provincial Marshal General. Okay, there's a Joseph N. Blambo. Now this Joseph N. Blambo here, I have lots and lots of stuff about him, folks. Joseph Blambo. I believe his son used to be Minister of Education. Okay, let me go on. General Raymond B. Outland, Chief of Military, AFL. Okay, now here they are. During a handshake at the Ministry of Defense last August, in which 5 senior armed force army officers were dismissed and retried respectively. Oh. A similar number were commissioned to. Oh, they were this. Oh, wow. This is the picture of the dismissed officer. This was this. Oh, wow. Picture shown. Okay. All right. Well, let's move on. Okay. Liberian National Guard Brigade. Okay. Oh, do I know anybody yet? No. This unit is the nation's first line of defense. Now, this is a very interesting one here. This is the Executive Martial Guard Battalion. But I don't see my uncle in here. Jackson Steady. I don't see him in here. Here he paused at the okay. Colonel David K. Wright. Okay, but before that, the Executive Martial Commanding Battalion is commanded by Colonel Charles E. Ridley. Now, this guy died during the coup that I know. The battalion, okay. Okay, here, Colonel David K. Wright, Executive Officer, First Lieutenant Francis Marvin, Personnel of Officer, Major Nathaniel Snare, Training and Planning Officer, and Captain Thomas A. Ackgate, Logistic Officer, okay? And Colonel Cindy S. Ware Jr., okay? Folks, like I said, I have a lot. To be honest with you, Colonel Commander Wilbon A. Gardner. Ooh, okay? Here again we have, but Those days, you can't come from Total and be a mountain, please. You come from Total, ain't no way they're going to put you in the picture here, man. Because my uncle, it used to be, Colonel Charles Deshee. Folks, those days, if you're from Total, you can't be part of the thing, yo. The commanding officer of Depot, Lieutenant Colonel Henry D. Huff. Okay. They got the name all over here. Okay. But anyway, folks, this is Samson to LIBERIA Public. I just thought that I do this. I try to do this here. And I got a lot more here from time to time. But anyway, folks, let me get out of here. I've been out here for quite a while now. Let me get out of here. Let me get out of here. I want to thank all of you again. It's been a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful afternoon, please. Folks, before I leave, I just thought that I read this Prince Johnson stuff here. So perhaps people, maybe you can go do a research and see. But I can assure you that in years to come, Indiana University, just as Samson told me this, Indiana University is going to be one of the marquee universities where you can do serious research on the civil war of Liberia and Liberians. Because these people, they go, as soon as this person I'm talking about that I know, God forbid, if he passes away, the information Indiana University, because where they are, they have a whole room for the documents about Liberia. They got Pat, when Pat was found there, those who found their Pat, all of their documents, including Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, and all of the, even the formation of EULA, the conversation of EULA, those papers are there. I read them. I went through them. I used to have some of them until somebody thought that I got too much thing here. They threw some of my stuff away. Okay, but once this person, God forbid, if this person passes away, that's the first thing you need to do. Check with Indiana University, because the person has written and signed that, God forbid, if he passes, all of his documents that he has for Liberia are going to be donated to Indiana University, because Indiana University is one of the universities that has a huge collection of Liberian history. On a very serious note, I'm very serious about this. So look it up. Okay. But anyway, folks, let me get out of here. I want to thank all of you again this evening. It's been a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful time with truly. What happened? We truly enjoy ourselves. Thank you very much for staying with us. LIBERIA Public, tune in tomorrow for Mr. Soul Show, where you will have more fun. It's been a wonderful, wonderful evening. Thank you very much. I will say good night to all of you. Good night, folks.
Onana ayama lokolo mwane sikolo mwa yepoza ne krikuya mreu lokolo toliye bolu suku ogere yo omo ya lokolo kete swalo ndi angane mbeyo toliye bolu suku ona veriyo Oji besayo beriyo